Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here at ACEverything. My name is Squid, and today we're going to be talking about Humble Bundle's monthly bundle for December of 2017. Now, this is my first time talking about Humble Bundle here on my channel. If you haven't checked out Humble Bundle, whether you've not subscribed to their monthly bundle, which I highly recommend, check out their store because a good portion of every purchase goes to charity, whether it be the American Red Cross or the American Diabetes Association. It's a really good place to get your games because every portion of every purchase will go to the charity of your choice, and there's a really big variety of different charities that you can choose from to have a good amount from your purchase go toward that charity, and it's all up to you. But beyond that, there's some really heavily discounted games on there, and if you're a PC gamer, it's like a godsend. I mean, this month we got 3 games. And they're not like low. Sometimes they're kind of low quality indie games, but even this month we got a really big AAA that came out. So I highly recommend it because you can get some really good games at a highly discounted price. And the monthly discount or the monthly bundle costs about $12 a month, and usually you get 3 to 6 games depending. And it's a really, really good way to go if you're a PC gamer. If you want to get a lot of games at a really heavily discounted price and do some good at the same time, I highly recommend checking out Humble Bundle. So this month, the 3 games that came were Quantum Break, which, to be honest, it was a little bit of a letdown. I haven't checked it out yet. We will actually have a full review of Quantum Break posted probably within the next 2 weeks or so I can tell you whether it was worth it or not. Honestly, the game sells right now for about $40 if you buy it elsewhere. And to get it included with 2 other games for $12 total is amazing. So I still think it was definitely worth it. The other 2 games are Warhammer, War 3 or something like that. I'm not a big fan of Warhammer, so I'm not going to have much to talk about on that one. And the third one is The Long Dark, which originally I actually had on early access. I haven't played the full title yet, so this is going to be a lot of fun to talk about for you. I can actually give you a little bit of insight to what type of game this is and whether you might want to check this out or not. I would highly recommend that you do check it out. It is a great game. As for Quantum Break, I do know that it is actually a Microsoft first-party game. Right now, as I said, it is selling for $40 at full price. It was rated about 8 out of 10 by IGN, but 66% only on Metacritic, so that's pretty low rating. So Quantum Break was a bit of a letdown, just like a lot of the first-party projects released by Microsoft have been a bit of a letdown, to be honest with you. I was looking forward to ReCore, and that just did not measure up either. I've even seen it only rated about 4 out of 10 on IGN, which is pretty dang low, even for IGN. That is sad. So I haven't checked out ReCore yet. I definitely want to check it out. I'm hoping it will come up as free on the free monthly Xbox Live Gold games. I'm really hoping to check that out at some point, but Quantum Break, I've heard some good things, I've heard some bad things. It's definitely at least somewhat of a disappointment from what people expected, so there's no debating that. Hopefully, when I check it out, hopefully I run into something really good, so I can give you a recommendation on whether you should get or not get this game. No matter what, though, for $12, 3 pretty decent games is a really low price, and a good portion of that goes to charity, which is something to be very proud of when it comes to Humble Bundle. So would I recommend this bundle for this month? I would absolutely recommend it, just for the fact that you get The Long Dark, which is a really good game, and a potentially decent game in Quantum Break. Now, if you're a big fan of Warhammer, then you'll definitely want that as well. I haven't checked it out. I'll at least check it out, but it's not really my type of game. I'm not a big fan of, League of Legends or anything like that. I'm not a big fan of Smite or anything like that, so I'll check it out and I'll release a review on it for you guys, but it's not my thing. Maybe for you it's definitely worth it, but even just getting 3 games in a bundle like that for $12 is amazing, and to know that some of that is going toward charity is a really good thing as well. So I still would definitely recommend it, and I think we get 6 more games in January, which we'll definitely talk about. But just based on The Long Dark and Quantum Break alone, I would definitely recommend this. Now, The Long Dark, if you don't know what it is a survival type game. Not like Minecraft. Sort of similar in the fact that you have to craft a lot of stuff. You have to craft, you don't have to craft your own shelter. They're each individual on every side of the map. There's some sort of shelter that you can go to, and kind of you just have to build elements. Like you have to get wood to keep a fire going, because usually almost every part of the map is cold, very cold. So you have to have firewood on you at all times. And of course you can craft axes, you can craft all types of stuff. So The Long Dark, I highly recommend it. It's a very good game. I only played it in early access. I hadn't played the full title. I'll probably play the full title, check it out, and release a full review on that for you guys. Early access, as you know, is just to address all the bugs in the game. You still do get to enjoy it, but it's just to really just address all the bugs in the game, honestly. So you don't really get the full experience necessarily in early access. There are a lot of really cool early access titles. One that I was kind of disappointed that never got released was Windscape, which if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's a pretty cool little game too, kind of similar in the fact that you craft, but it's like a survival game meets Legend of Zelda. It's really cool. Now, yeah, just based on The Long Dark alone, early access, I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10. It was a very good game. It was a lot of fun. I probably spent at least 30 hours on that game in early access, which is really crazy for me because I don't tend to spend, other than like sport games, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy, but other than like sport games and like GTA and stuff like that, I don't tend to log any more than maybe 10 to 20 hours on a game at one time. I don't really come back and, like if I got Cuphead, I probably wouldn't spend 40 hours playing that game unless it just took that long to beat, which I heard it does take that long to beat because it's just crazy difficult. But honestly, I don't tend to log that many hours on a single game at one time. When we got Yano and the Celestial Elephants on the Switch, I beat that in 3 or 4 hours, and I didn't come back to it, and I probably won't. It's just not my type of thing. There are some games that I will spend a lot of time on, like NBA 2K18, Madden. I'll spend a lot of time on Call of Duty. I'm not a huge fan of Call of Duty, honestly. In fact, I kind of have a lot of hatred for that whole series because I think it's just the same thing every game, honestly. When I get it, I don't play through the story half the time. I just go online and I play online. So I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty. It's a little fun when I got some time to kill or something, but honestly, I don't tend to spend a lot of time on Call of Duty, really. Every now and then I'll circle back to it when I got nothing else to do. But otherwise, I don't spend a lot of time on first-person shooter games. Depending on the first-person shooter, it depends. But Quantum Break, I have a lot of love for. I've seen trailers for it. I'm hoping it's good. I'm really hoping it's good. I'm going to check it out. I'll release a full review of that one probably within the next 2 weeks. It might take a little longer. It depends. I want to experience at least the majority of the game before I release a full review for you guys to give an accurate recommendation on whether I believe it's worth your money or not. Now, if you invest in the Humble Bundle, I really highly recommend it. Go to Humble Bundle, invest in it. And Humble Bundle is not sponsoring me or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not a big enough YouTuber to get anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm not just recommending this just because they're paying me to do so. I don't even think they would do that anyway. I'm doing this because it's a way to get a lot of games at one time, experience a lot of really good games like Quantum Break and The Long Dark and Warhammer if you like something like that. And they've released even better games than that in past bundles. This is my first month as a subscriber, so I'm really looking forward to the experience of these games, and I'll definitely talk about it in future videos. But the reason I'm recommending this is because it's a good way to get a lot of games at one time for pretty cheap, especially if you're a PC gamer, and also you can do some good and donate to charity at the same time. So I think it's a really good thing. Humble Bundle is amazing. Second to the only way to get cheaper games than this is if you're buying from a really kind of bad source, in that of Kingwin or G2A. I would not recommend either of them. Usually when you buy from either of those facets or either of those sources, you're not really giving any sort of credit to the people that created those games. So I don't recommend buying from G2A or Kingwin. I know a lot of people that do. I have myself, but once I found out the situation, I don't tend to buy my games from them anymore. I'll go to Humble Bundle, or I'll wait until they go on sale on Steam. Usually they're not that expensive anyway. PC gaming, and we're going to talk about this probably tomorrow, actually, is usually, in terms of games, is way cheaper than consoles. I mean, I have a lot of games on my Steam account, and I don't think I've spent any more than maybe $120 on all the games I have total on my Steam account. So if you are looking for a cheap way to get into gaming, I highly recommend getting into PC gaming. Now, people think that it's so expensive to set up your PC, your first, like the initial investment in terms of a PC rig is really expensive, but it doesn't have to be. If you're willing to, now I will say this, some of the community of PC gaming can be kind of volatile. If you're a console gamer, don't join any Facebook groups for PC gaming. They're just gonna make fun of you every 2 seconds, and I think it's BS, to be honest. It's ridiculous. It's very toxic. But that's not always the case. Sometimes there's some really good people in PC gaming. I have a lot of friends in PC gaming, and they're really great people. They're really fun to play with, and I think, honestly, it's a really good community to get into. But honestly, they can be a little bit high and muddy and a bit ridiculous sometimes. So if you're a console gamer, don't join any PC gaming gaming rigs. And if you do, or gaming groups, and don't tell them that you're a console gamer, because they are ridiculous. They will make fun of you. It's really ridiculous. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. But unless you're looking for like 4K gaming, it's not really that expensive to get into PC gaming. You can build a decent rig that will play just about as good as the PS4, maybe even better, for probably around $250. If you just go get an old office PC with an i3 or an i5 in it, throw a graphics card in there, and you're good. It's pretty much that simple. People think that it's so expensive to get into PC gaming, but it's not. And if you're willing to settle for 720p, you can do just about the same. You can build a decent gaming rig for under $150. So it's really not expensive at all. It can potentially be the cheapest way to get into gaming if you want it to be. And over time, it's going to be a lot cheaper than console gaming. So I highly recommend PC over console. Although I can't say anything because I play my Nintendo Switch more than anything else. And I do enjoy playing on the Xbox One every now and then. So I can't say too much. But if you're looking for a cheap gaming experience, and you still want to get all the great games that everyone else has, and you're not necessarily, you're willing to settle for 720p gaming, which isn't that bad. The Switch, for example, on the tablet at least, it's 720p. Now, most of the time when it's in the dock, it's 1080, and it doesn't really, you can't tell the difference. Now, it might help that that's a smaller screen, but you just can't tell the difference. And you can build a pretty decent gaming rig, and if you want me to talk about something like that, comment down below. I'll talk about some decent gaming rigs that you can get for 720p gaming below 150 for a new PC gamer. If that's something you're after, definitely comment below and I'll talk about it. And I'll put up a couple of videos and maybe even link some PC part picker lists to talk about how you can get into that situation, how you can start PC gaming, because people think it's very expensive, but it's not. You don't have to pay like $500 for a decent gaming laptop like I have. You don't have to do that. You can build a pretty decent gaming rig for like $150. Even some of the regular laptops with Intel integrated graphics will play most new titles at 720, and if below that, not far below. And it's a really great way to get into gaming, so I highly recommend it. And if you guys want me to talk about some of those rigs, let me know. I'll talk about it. And even some of those office PCs that can, if you take an office PC with an i5, like an i5 4200, for example, and you put a decent graphics card in there, like a 1050, an old AMD HD 7870 or something like that, you can outmatch modern console gaming easily and put up 1080 steadily without a problem. So if you want something like that, I'll definitely talk about it. And you don't even, people think you need a monitor. You don't need that. You can hook it right up to your TV. Well, it might look a little off, but you can hook it right up to your TV and it'll be no problem. There's even a specific facet of PCs called home theater PCs. These people build them like that. So don't be intimidated by what people think is the expensive initial cost. It's not that expensive. If you really get into it and you search, it's not hard to build a decent gaming PC for under $200 and easily under $300. And I'm talking operating system and everything. Especially if you get one of those old office PCs. They usually have Windows still on them. but Windows is not expensive to get. It may not always be the best way to get Windows, and people might look at you like you're crazy if you do it, but you can get Windows licenses on eBay for nothing. It's really cheap. I don't recommend going through Kingwin, but you can go right on eBay and do it that way. People are going to look at you like you're crazy, you're committing a crime or something like that, but you can do it, and it's no big deal. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining us at AC Everything. Like and subscribe. We're going to have another couple videos coming up this week. I'm actually releasing videos daily right now, which is awesome. I've never been able to do that before, and it's a lot of fun for me. I'm not getting a lot of views. Hopefully that'll change. But honestly, this is just therapeutic for me to sit back and talk about this stuff, and maybe somebody sees it at some point and something goes somewhere. But I don't even care if it doesn't. I just like doing this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for joining us.